We need to talk about the invisible thief. It's not a burglar, and it's not an accident. It is that heavy, confusing exhaustion that hits you before you even finish tying your shoes in the morning. That fog that makes simple tasks feel like climbing a mountain. You feel weak, maybe dizzy, and your mind is slow. You pause, leaning against the kitchen counter, sighing, and you tell yourself, well, I guess this is just 67. That thought, that this miserable exhaustion is simply normal aging, is the biggest lie we tell ourselves, and it's the biggest thief of your dignity and independence. We must challenge that thought. For many of us, that overwhelming fatigue is not aging. It's a secret side effect hiding in plain sight, swallowed every morning before the coffee even brews. It is an epidemic of quiet dehydration caused by medications meant to help you, making you unsteady, increasing your risk of a fall, and stealing your clear thinking. I know the frustration. You go to the doctor, complain you're tired, and they run tests. The tests come back normal, and they shrug and suggest you exercise more or sleep better. They miss the obvious culprit staring them right in the face, the pills themselves. We cannot afford to let confusion and fatigue rule our days. Losing your physical footing is the fastest way to lose the peace of your own home. We are going to tackle the first major culprit today. Before you touch that coffee cup, think about the tiny pill you took with a sip of tap water just 10 minutes ago. If you're taking medication for high blood pressure, diabetes, or heart failure, chances are you are taking what is commonly called a water pill, or medically, a diuretic. Hydrochlorothiazide, furosemide, you know the names. These are essential medications. They save lives by reducing fluid and pressure. But they are a double-edged sword for your energy levels. They constantly flush fluid, minerals, and crucial electrolytes out of your system. Dehydration happens much faster as we age. We often lose our natural thirst signals, and the medications we rely on exaggerate this loss. When your body runs low on water, your circulation struggles. Your heart has to work harder. You get that heavy limb fatigue that feels like concrete shoes. You stand up too fast, and the room spins. That dizziness, that wobble, that is how falls happen. A fall is the fastest way to lose your clear decisions about money and your precious independence. We cannot afford that exhaustion. We need to outsmart the pill. Here is the simple wisdom about water pills and timing. If you take a diuretic first thing in the morning, you are guaranteeing maximum fluid loss just when you need energy the most, for mid-morning chores, errands, driving, or dealing with the mail. Your energy peaks later in the day, but your hydration is at its lowest. Instead, speak to your doctor about shifting the timing of this pill. Ask if you can take the diuretic later, say mid-morning or early afternoon, so the peak flushing happens before dinner, not during your most active hours. More critical than timing is the replacement ritual. For every single diuretic pill you take, treat yourself to a full large glass of plain water, immediately. Not coffee, not orange juice, not diet soda. Plain water, slowly. Coffee, while comforting, is also a mild diuretic itself. So chasing a diuretic pill with coffee is like pouring gasoline on the fire of dehydration. You're draining yourself twice as fast. This simple wisdom, changing the timing and increasing immediate water replacement, can restore a surprising amount of strength and clarity to your morning routine. You might find that your unexplained fatigue and brain fog disappear within days, not weeks. Your stability will improve. But there is a second, equally sneaky morning medication that quietly causes massive dehydration and brain fog, often mistaken for just poor sleep or forgetfulness. This pill affects not just your energy, but your memory and patience with loved ones, draining the peace right out of your home. We will cover that second key warning in part 2. Then, we will turn our attention to protecting your home peace and securing your financial decisions, because true wisdom is balancing health, home, and money. My friends, if you're sitting there right now feeling heavy, sluggish, and thinking, this must just be 70, please stop. That thought robs you of your power. We already established that dehydration is the silent energy thief. Now, let's identify the first and most common culprit sitting in your pillbox right now, This is the pill designed to help your heart, but which can sabotage your legs. The first pill class we must discuss is the diuretic. You likely know it as a water pill. Perhaps you take hydrochlorothiazide, furosemide, or a similar medication. You take it in the morning, usually with breakfast. The diuretic's job is simple: to make you pee. It reduces fluid volume, easing the strain on your heart and blood vessels. That is good medicine. But here is the wisdom we need to remember. Diuretics do not flush out just excess water. They flush out essential minerals and salts, which we call electrolytes. These electrolytes are the tiny sparks that keep your brain sharp, your muscles firing, and your energy level stable. When those sparks drain away quickly in the morning, you hit the wall hard by noon. You feel exhausted. Your muscles feel weak. You might get dizzy standing up too fast. You think you need a nap, or maybe more coffee. But what you really need is awareness, and maybe a sip of something specific. This hidden dehydration often causes trips and falls, the biggest threat to independence after age 60. You are rushing to the bathroom multiple times, then you stand up too fast later, and boom, the room spins. The doctor looks at your chart and says, "Well, your blood pressure is good, but you're just getting frail." No, you are possibly just depleted. What is the simple wisdom here? First, you must know exactly what time you take the diuretic. If you take it at 8 a.m., the strongest effect is usually around 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. This is when you must be extra vigilant about hydration. Second, you cannot rely only on plain water if you are on a daily diuretic. Remember, water pills flush out salt. If you replace only water, you further dilute the remaining salt, which causes more trouble. You need those electrolytes back. A pinch of salt in your water bottle, or a small glass of mineral-rich broth, like chicken or vegetable stock, is pure gold around mid-morning. It can restore that balance without you needing sugary sports drinks. Discuss this pattern with your pharmacist or doctor. Ask if the dose or timing can be adjusted to minimize that afternoon fatigue crash. Never adjust the pill yourself, but always advocate for timing that protects your safety and energy. Now, let's turn to the second morning pill that secretly dries you out and steals your focus. This one is insidious because it often seems harmless, or is prescribed for something completely unrelated to the heart. This second class of medication impacts your body's ability to produce moisture. These are often prescription or even over-the-counter pills with what we call anticholinergic effects. Think about pills you might take for allergies, bladder control, chronic stomach issues, or even certain older antidepressants or sleep aids. Many people take these daily, sometimes right alongside their blood pressure medicine. These pills work by blocking certain signals in the nervous system. A powerful side effect of this blocking action is dryness. We are talking about dry mouth, dry eyes, and sometimes even a little mental fogginess. If your mouth is chronically dry, you simply do not feel the natural urge to drink water. The water doesn't taste good, or it feels like effort. You unconsciously restrict your fluid intake all day long. If you combine the first pill, the diuretic that forces water out, with the second pill, the anticholinergic that stops you from taking water in, you have a perfect recipe for chronic exhaustion and dehydration. This combined effect mimics early dementia or profound aging, the brain confusion, the dizziness, the fatigue. If you are fighting dry mouth, the wisdom is to keep small sips constant. Keep a thermos of cool water by your favorite chair. Chew sugarless gum or suck on hard candies, not high in sugar, to stimulate saliva. But most importantly, pull out the information sheet that came with every medication you take. Look for side effects like dry mouth, confusion, or drowsiness. If you see those listed, especially on 2 different morning pills, you need to talk to your healthcare team immediately about alternative treatments. You deserve to know exactly what is making you tired. You deserve to walk into your kitchen with energy, not shuffle in fear. This awareness protects your health, but aging well requires balance in all areas. Up next, we need to address the second biggest secret shame and anxiety seniors face: the quiet burden of clutter and the financial cost of a disorganized home. We'll show you how a few simple habits in your living room can protect your financial future as powerfully as managing your medication. We have covered how those essential water pills, diuretics, can secretly be the biggest drain on your morning energy and put your independence at risk if we aren't careful with hydration. But my dear friend, there's a second major culprit, perhaps even more insidious because its side effect feels so mild, yet it is the primary reason many seniors simply stop drinking water throughout the day. This is the class of medications that cause severe dry mouth. You might be taking one right now, perhaps for allergies, sometimes for sleep, or even for bladder control. They often contain something called anticholinergics. Don't worry about the chemical name, just know the feeling. When your tongue feels like sandpaper and your throat is sticky, when you have a constant dry mouth, your body gives you a false signal. It doesn't trigger the thirst response strongly enough, or it makes drinking large amounts of water feel impossible, even painful. You avoid drinking. You might think, it's just an annoyance. I'll take a mint. But that persistent dry mouth is leading directly to chronic dehydration. And dehydration, remember, is exhaustion. Dehydration is dizziness. Dehydration is the wobbly leg that causes the fall in the kitchen. If you're waking up groggy, thinking you slept poorly, check your nighttime meds. If any of them are leaving you parched when the alarm rings, they are setting you up for a day of fatigue and reduced stamina. This is where the wisdom comes in. The wisdom of questioning the side effects, not just accepting them as the price of getting older. Let's talk about that moment at the doctor's office. You feel exhausted, dizzy. You tell the physician. They look at your list of pills, they check your blood pressure, and often they conclude you must be depressed or that your body is just slowing down. This can be frustrating. You know your body. You know this fatigue isn't normal aging. It's a symptom. Here is the simple, powerful language to protect your dignity and get the right help. Do not tell the doctor you need a new pill for your fatigue. Tell them you need a careful review of the side effects of your existing pills. Say this: Doctor, before we explore new diagnoses for my exhaustion, could we review my current medication list? I am experiencing extreme dry mouth and fatigue, and I am concerned that the diuretic and the nighttime allergy pill together might be contributing to severe dehydration. This is precise. It shows you have done your homework. It shifts the conversation from "I'm old and broken" to "I am managing my medical care intelligently." You are defending your independence right there, in that little examination room. Now let's bring this back home and apply some simple habits to combat the problem of the dry mouth pill. We have to make water irresistible and unavoidable. I call this the rule of threes. If you are dealing with dehydration from medications, the advice to drink 8 glasses is too vague and too big. It feels like homework. The rule of threes is simple. Place 3 small, attractive sources of water strategically in your main living areas. Number 1, a small glass of water, already poured, covered with a napkin, right on your nightstand. Not a big thermos that feels daunting, just a small, easy-to-lift glass. This is the first thing you reach for when you open your eyes, before you even sit up. Number 2, a favorite cup of water by the chair where you read, watch the news, or pay bills. That chair you spend 80% of your day in. When you look at the bills, sip the water. Clear mind, clear decisions, wiser spending. Number 3, a small glass placed permanently on the kitchen counter next to the sink. Every time you stand up in the kitchen to wait for the kettle, to wipe the counter, or to grab a snack, take 3 small sips. Just 3. You are creating visual cues. You are replacing the burden of drinking 8 glasses with the ease of taking 3 sips now. This shift in habit does 2 things instantly. It fights the physical exhaustion caused by the pills, and it fights the emotional fatigue of feeling overwhelmed by health demands. You gain control. When your energy stabilizes, your mind clears. When your mind clears, you make better decisions about everything, from whether you need to buy that extended warranty to whether you should call the handyman or try to climb that ladder yourself. Energy is safety. We have addressed the diuretic and the dry mouth pill, the 2 biggest robbers of your morning vitality. But there is one crucial element we have not yet touched. There is a third, silent routine error that many seniors make before they even stand up, something they believe is good for them, but which immediately sabotages their blood pressure, increases confusion, and undoes all the careful hydration work we just discussed. This error is tied to the exact moment you transition from sleep to standing, and getting this wrong can turn an otherwise safe morning into a risky dash to the bathroom. We must cover this critical third warning next. It might be the most common mistake you're making every single morning. We've spent time looking closely at the first common culprit, the diuretic or water pill, taken often for high blood pressure or heart health. It works exactly as intended, but if you don't adjust your hydration, that pill is silently pushing you toward exhaustion. But what about the second pill? The one that quietly adds to your morning confusion and exhaustion, often disguising itself as poor sleep or general sluggishness? Look at your pill organizer again, especially the pills you take before coffee, or even the ones you took the night before to help you rest. The second energy thief is often a medication designed to help you with allergies, nerve pain, bladder control, or even certain older types of antidepressants or sleep aids. These pills carry a lesser-known property. They are anticholinergics. That's a complicated word, but what it means for you is simple. They dry you out. They are designed to block certain signals, and a crucial side effect of this blocking action is a systemic drying effect. You feel it immediately as dry mouth, especially when you wake up. We often brush off that cotton mouth feeling. We assume we snored, or maybe the heating was too high. But that dry mouth is a signal that your entire system, your brain, your muscles, and your kidneys is short on water. This silent dehydration slows cognitive processing. It makes you feel foggy, irritable, and unsteady. It mimics the exact exhaustion and lack of stamina we are taught to associate with just getting older. So here is the essential piece of wisdom, the action step that combines our insights on the two primary dehydrating pills. It's the pill pregame rule. Never take those two common morning pills, the diuretic or the drying pill, without adequate preparation. You need to establish a hydration baseline before they start working. When you first get out of bed, before you do anything else, go to the bathroom and then go straight to the kitchen. Have the full glass of water waiting for you, maybe the one you left out the night before. Take your time drinking that water. Don't gulp it down. Hydration isn't about speed, it's about absorption. Give your body 10 minutes to register that moisture. Only after that first tall glass of water has been taken should you approach your pill organizer. Think of it as protecting your energy reserve. You are refilling the tank before the pill starts draining it. If you're waiting for the coffee machine to finish brewing, that is the perfect window to protect yourself. Sip that plain water. It's your independence insurance. Because this isn't just about feeling tired. This level of exhaustion has real material consequences in your home. When you're constantly fighting dehydration fatigue, you let things slide. You feel too unsteady to climb the small step stool to reach the smoke alarm battery. That's a home safety risk. You feel too weak to lift that box of clutter out of the spare room. That clutter is a psychological and physical drain. You skip the long walk or the drive to see the friend you know is struggling, deepening your isolation and theirs. You postpone the call to the insurance agent about that complicated bill, leading to unnecessary financial stress or overpayment. Fatigue is the root cause of many small failures that, over time, add up to a loss of independence. By making this small adjustment, checking those two pills, and consciously hydrating before they act, you aren't just boosting your energy. You are reinforcing your ability to manage your home, protect your health, and keep control of your money. This simple habit protects you from the dizziness that leads to falls. It shields your mind from the confusion that causes poor decisions. It keeps the doctor from mistakenly increasing a dosage or prescribing another pill when all you needed was water. Your wisdom in aging lies in understanding that exhaustion is often a symptom of something correctable, not a destiny you must accept. We have focused intensely on the hidden physical costs of these two common pills. But even when we manage our energy perfectly, there is one deep chronic fear that drains more energy and steals more joy than any medication side effect. It's the silent anxiety about money, specifically the worry that you will outlive your savings, or that one massive unexpected bill will ruin your peace and force you to be dependent on others. In our next segment, we need to turn our focus to this ultimate independence thief. We will discuss the single biggest financial oversight people over 60 make regarding their essential accounts, and the simple, wise habit that can secure your peace of mind regarding bills and long-term care decisions.